Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, password recovery in the land of oh, that's broken too. Law techie in the chamber of sensory deprivation. Are you familiar with the word mutiny, sir? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Password recovery in the land of oh, that's broken too. Hey everyone, LTL/FTP, all that good stuff, please be gentle. Strap in because this is a long one. I do Linux sysadmin and support stuff as my main job, with a dash of networking thrown in. Vagueness for job security. I also do one-on-one tech support with personal clients as a side gig I started while still in college. Most of these clients are older and pretty well off. This invariably means iDevices. They aren't my favorite, but I can fix anything and I've learned to work with them. I do own an iPhone. They got me with the iPod back in the day, what can I say? This is relevant later. I hadn't heard from one of my clients in a few years. Not a big deal, it happens. I also know what it means when that kind of client gives me a call out of the blue. They've broken everything they own, and they're in a panic. Last week was no exception. For this scene, we have yours truly, CC, and sweet older lady, SOL. Phone rings, client name pops up. CC, hello, this is CC. How can I help you? SOL, hi, this is SOL. I don't know if you remember me. Some generalities about our last appointment 3 years ago. CC, yes, of course. It's nice to hear from you again. SOL, so, I've got this problem. My laptop keeps asking me for my password, and it's getting in the way of my work. It's really annoying. Can you fix it? I ponder for a second. Her phrasing is interesting. If it's in the way of her work, but not stopping her. CC, so, you can use your computer, but there's a box asking you for a password while you're working? SOL, yes, that's right. CC, is this for your iCloud password? SOL, I think so, though I'm not sure. I've tried putting that one in, but it says it's wrong. But the box keeps popping up and if I click later, it just comes back. Yup, definitely the macOS iCloud dialog box. She's forgotten her password. CC, okay, that's fine. We can just reset it. SOL, I've tried. But it never works. I figured. CC, you have an iPhone as well, correct? SOL, yes, I do. CC, great. We can use that to recover your password. I knew this, as I'd been the one to set this all up 3 years ago. We agree on an appointment time 2 days later. 2 days later. I arrive at her house. I'd tried to call ahead to confirm earlier in the day, but hadn't heard back. This is also relevant later. A little strange, but she was just getting off work so I didn't think too much of it. I knock on the door. Thankfully she's there and lets me in. I get set up on her kitchen table with her laptop. It loads up, asks for her password to log in. CC, can you enter your password please? SOL, oh, sure. 1 second. She gets out the small pad of passwords, which is a universal smart but not great with tech thing. I find it adorable. I get logged in, and the first thing I see is the system asking for the keychain password, which she enters. Then the iCloud password dialog comes up. SOL, see? She hits later before I can say anything. It comes back in 2 seconds. And I know exactly what's happened. For the uninitiated/sane, the macOS keychain is the program that stores saved passwords, among other things. For ease of use, it's locked using the same password as the user's login password. When that user logs in, the system uses that to unlock the keychain, granting access to those stored passwords. The only times the system should ask the user to unlock this keychain itself are if a user has gone in and changed the keychain password manually, far beyond the technical level of typical users, or they've been locked out of their computer and changed their password to get back in using unusual means. Shorter explanation: general password F*******. CC, okay, I see what you mean. Let's reset your password and get you going. I go through a few screens and ask to verify my identity using one of a few options. I choose the send a text to verified number on account option, as I can guess that she's not logged into iCloud on any of her other devices, and we can't use that. CC, great. You should receive a text on your iPhone in a few seconds with a code. May I see it? She looks startled. Oh. SOL, I'm afraid my cell phone stopped working yesterday afternoon. It's why I didn't call you to confirm our appointment. I only had your number saved there. Oh. CC, that's all right. Let me take a look at it and see if we can get you up and running again. She hands me her phone. It's off. I turn it on. The connect to iTunes, I'm in recovery mode, SHHH, graphic pops up. Oh. CC, Tell me what exactly happened when this started. SOL, I kept getting this pop-up asking if I wanted to update. I hit no like I always do, but I guess I hit the wrong button this time. It started downloading and it was taking forever, so my friend suggested I turn the phone off. I did, and then that happened. It won't turn on again. My internal sigh is heard around the world, and every tech support worker unconsciously shivers. I don my extremely patient, professional voice. CC, okay, I think I know what happened. iPhones are pretty tough, lies, and about the only thing you can do to break them is if you turn it off during an update, bigger lies. Please don't do that. SOL, I guess that was pretty silly of me. I won't do that again. CC, that's all right. We can use your laptop to download the phone update and install in on your phone. I plug her phone in. iTunes pops up asking if I'd like to update or recover the phone to factory. Update. Would I like to download the software? Yes. Error. This version of iTunes is too friggin' old. Okay. Let's go update iTunes. Open up the App Store, go to Updates, hit Update on the iTunes listing. Enter iCloud password. CC, looks like your computer hasn't been updated in a while, see definition, 3 years, and I can't download the phone software without updating it. And I can't update it until we fix your password. But that's alright, I can use my own laptop. Can I get your Wi-Fi password? I get logged in, plug her phone into my computer, and start the download. Estimated download time, 2.5 hours. Check Wi-Fi signal strength. It's high. Run a speed test. It's very, very slow, but matches what I recognize as the lowest speed tier of major Canadian ISP. CC, unfortunately, it looks like you have a very slow internet connection, and the phone software is quite large. It'll take over 2 hours to download. I'll have to set it to download and come back at a later date. SOL, oh I see. Alright. Well, what about the password thing? CC, let me see if we can go about that another way. I run through the dialog again, and choose the email option. I ask her to check. She doesn't receive it. 10 minutes pass. I double-check the email address listed again with her. SOL. Sorry, that's my old email address. I don't use it anymore. My new one is old email address with a 2 at the end. CC, I see. Why did you change it? SOL, I couldn't remember the password. Just. CC, well, I can't use your email then. SOL, can't you just change the email address? CC, I'd need your correct password for that. SOL, oh. At this point, she's feeling very bad, as she can see how badly she's messed up. I'm feeling bad for her and get determined, so I put my creative hat, TM on. CC, well, let me try one more thing. Do you have a paperclip? I remove her SIM card and put it into my own iPhone. I receive a few texts meant for her that were still in queue, but none of them are from Apple. I go through the password recovery screens once again, choose SMS once again and wait. Nothing. CC, I'm sorry, this isn't working. Major Canadian carrier isn't exactly known for the best service. I'll need to come back once the software has downloaded. SOL, crestfallen OK. And that's how SOL earned her name. There wasn't a single thing I could do at that point, couldn't even call Apple support as they were closed. I charge by the hour, and it didn't make sense for me to sit around waiting for the download when I literally couldn't do anything else until it was done. So we set up another appointment. We leave her laptop on to download the software. She pays me for my time. Total time spent, 2 hours. I go home and download the same software in less than a minute, as I don't trust her connection. I come back a few days later, flash her phone, use it to recover her password, log her into all her devices, update them, and get her running again in under an hour. And she writes down her shiny new password in her small pad of passwords. And that's the tale of how I got paid 3 hours for a less than 1 hour job. SOL apologized profusely for waiting so long to contact me, and has already set up her next appointment with a long list of things she'd like to do. Moral of the story: don't wait until everything breaks. And don't turn it off during an update. Law techie in the Chamber of Sensory Deprivation. I'm still working for a mid-market consulting firm, traveling around the US on short notice. After a few annoying trips, I've done the passive-aggressive method of job searching, switching my LinkedIn status to looking. In the meantime, I've been asked to do an assessment of a vendor to a health insurer. Usually these start with some spreadsheets pushed back and forth and a status call or two. Instead, we get a firm we will let you visit where you can ask questions, but we're not filling out any paperwork. For reasons that may become apparent, I'll call the vendor Skiff Health. Skiff does some arcane work in utilization and metrics of healthcare outcomes, which usually means gathering lots of data and occasionally denying valid claims. Great. This is going to be all kinds of fun. Skiff is a subsidiary of a large. We sell a lot of different things to the federal government holding company, which I'll call Booz Martin. Both Skiff and Booz Martin are in the DC metro area, so at least I don't have to fly out there. I can have some fun in DC while I'm at it. Stuart, Skiff's security officer on this assessment, is a pain to schedule. They'll schedule, then cancel the night before due to important concerns. I have to threaten with, if we don't get this done by the end of the quarter, your contract with Big S Health Insurer will go away. Of course, all this email is through Skiff's kludgy secure email portal that 403's forbidden half the time. I'm already hating these people. One day, I get a call from a recruiter I don't hate. They have a great opportunity that requires my exact skill set. They assure me that they mean it this time, but can't release the employer until I pass a preliminary background check. Fine. I want out of my current gig, so I send an up-to-date resume and agree to the usual credit, employment, and criminal check. Not unusual, and I soon forget about it. Eventually the planets align 2 days before the end of the quarter, and I'm going to visit Skiff. I get a bunch of meeting invites and I see that a bunch of people, both Skiff and Booz Martin, will be there. Interesting. I don't yet understand how involved Booz Martin is in the IT operations of Skiff. The day before I'm supposed to go down, I get a phone call from someone at Booz Martin. They need more information for my background check before the process can continue. I'm annoyed, since this has already been forwarded from my company, but I don't want any reason for Skiff to delay the process. I answer their requests, including a list of all lawsuits and criminal cases I've been involved in. That's odd, but I have a conflicts spreadsheet for when I was doing litigation, so I send it to them. I ride my motorcycle down the night before and stay in my favorite consultant kennel, a mid-range chain hotel. About 15 minutes before I'm supposed to leave to go to Skiff's office, I get an email from Stuart. It curtly lists the rules for me to follow at Skiff. All electronic devices will have to be left in my car. I am to wear my badge at all times and must be escorted within the facility. I must sign a NDA before I can ask any questions. This is going to be stupid. I usually take notes on my laptop, so I print out the questionnaire and requirements documents in the hotel's business center. I leave my luggage, laptop and phone with the hotel desk clerk before I ride to Skiff HQ in a wealthy DC suburb. Skiff's offices are nice in a hypermodern office building. Looks like they're setting up some kind of job fair/networking event in the lobby. The front desk is staffed by polite armed guards. Once they've validated my identity, and that I'm here to see someone, I get photographed and am presented with a picture ID on a lanyard, then escorted to another waiting room. About half an hour after we're supposed to start, Stuart shows up and escorts me to a small conference room. The conference room has no windows and is featureless other than a 4-person round table and a speakerphone. There's an odd hiss which I figure has to be a white noise generator. Stuart, what's your clearance? Me, you mean like secret, top secret? Stuart, pointing to himself, TS/SCI. Me, congrats. I don't have one. Stuart, that's a problem. I can't be as forthcoming then. Me, I don't understand. I work for a civilian health insurer. We're dealing with PHI, not top secret. Stuart, like I said, I can't talk about some things. Stuart dials into a phone bridge, and about 10 people from Booze and Skiff say hello. After a quick explanation of what I'm doing, I start asking basic questions about how Skiff does things. Even straightforward questions like what development stack are you running, or how do you select which patches to apply, and how long before you apply the patch result in one of 4 responses from Stuart. 5 minutes of exacting clarifying questions around the definition of server and patch. We have an internal standard for this where this is specified, but I can only describe it. We comply with NIST 800 to 171, which we printed out for you. After about 30 minutes of this, I'm starting to have an out-of-body experience. I'm imagining myself this dialogue on some old black and white television like it's a 70s documentary of the Milgram experiment. We've gone on long enough on this. I'll try a different topic and see where we go. Oddly enough, non-technical questions aren't as painful. Areas such as background checks, doing role-based access control, and removing terminated employees are there. The answers are straightforward and pleasantly delivered, but they're all coming from the crew on the speakerphone. Stuart glares at me from across the table. I'm hoping that if I figure out a way to segue back into technical questions, I might get somewhere, since I have everybody else talking and some rapport has formed with the rest of his coworkers. Me, I have some questions about system hardening. Stuart, you do you? Me, I want to make sure our data is protected each step of the way. Stuart, this is a stupid question. Our DC is in the Blue network. Do you know what that means? Me, you're hosting it in a Blue Cross/Blue Shield data center? Stuart, it means it's protected, dumbass. Me, alright. Do those systems talk to systems outside the data center? Stuart, of course. You're wasting our time. Me, okay. I'll try not to waste your time. Your systems are in a very nice data center. I get that. It's like a bank vault. They accept communications from the outside world, so under certain conditions, that big heavy bank vault door opens. I'd like to know when it opens and what else is there to protect our stuff. Stuart, yelling like I said, it's protected. Me, I understand. I'm going to call the project sponsor and see what they want to do. I want to thank you all for your time. I start walking out. Stuart is following me. I get to the elevator first. In the elevator, Stuart glares at me. I'm furious as well. The elevator door opens, I return my lanyard and walk away from Stuart and 2 armed guards. As I'm walking out, I see the networking/career fair has picked up a few people with Booze and Skiff gift bags. A few people have already dumped out some of the swag on spare tables. I pick up a few pens and one USB drive with a skiff logo. I ride back to the hotel and pick up my laptop and phone. There are voicemails from the project sponsor and one number I don't recognize. I call the project sponsor first. Project sponsor, how's it going at Skiff? Me, not well. They're stonewalling our technical questions. We can either send another person to finish the assessment or we can lean on them. I don't think sending me back is the best approach. Project sponsor, are you sure? Me, pretty much. Project sponsor, I'll call their CISO and see what I can shake loose. Me, I'm going to eat a big heavy lunch and try to not get stuck in beltway traffic. My phone rings while I'm halfway through a bowl of pho. I answer because I'm stupid. Unknown caller, hello, is this Law Techie? Me, it is. Unknown caller, this is Vern, the CISO at Skiff. I'm sorry to be cryptic. Me, damn, that was fast. Unknown caller, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Me, I just want to apologize for any ill will. Unknown caller, I don't think I understand. Me neither. I'll let you start. Unknown caller, I apologize for being cryptic. I'm relatively here. I need someone who understands the legal, compliance and technical roles as well as be, well, diplomatic. Me, and you think that's me? What have you heard? Unknown caller, recruiter speaks very highly of you. Me, that's nice to hear. What is your pain point? Unknown caller, we're moving up the market with our product, and we're getting sales resistance for security and compliance issues. Our security team is very talented, but they're not. Me, good with people? Unknown caller, exactly. Me, I see. I'd love to discuss, but I'm a little pressed for time. Can we schedule some time to talk later in the week? Unknown caller, I'd like to move quickly. I'm looking for someone to jump in and work on tasks already started. This may be a replacement sort of move. Me, I see. I can make some time tomorrow. After pleasantries, we hang up. This just got interesting. To be continued. Are you familiar with the word mutiny, sir? Years ago I became manager of tech support for a small startup with a half-dozen techs. I'd worked in support for a dozen years by then, and I always told them that my job was to advocate for both them and the company equally, and that by doing both we'd get the best results. My boss was the owner of the company. He got excited about things quickly, but had the retention of a fruit fly. When he came up with ideas, stopping him was difficult, and more than once it became detrimental to the success of the company. At one point in time he managed to wander into a Best Buy when the Microsoft Surfaces had first been released. He was smitten with them and after a few days decided that everyone in the office should be using them. So began the rollout meeting where I first heard his intention of replacing my tech's desktops with 3 monitors and laptops with a single Surface Pro. I politely tried to steer him away from this idea, for at least tech support, by suggesting maybe a pilot program, or a usability study, or anything really would be a better idea. Undeterred, he kept things moving along, talking about licensing and timelines for adoption. Whenever I was asked anything, my hesitation was noticeable and over, and soon became an issue. What's your problem? Everyone else is on board with this, why aren't you? I explained calmly that my techs required a significant amount of screen real estate to do things like work in SQL, do remote connections, interface with upper support tiers. So if I take away their computers and make them use Surface Pros, what are they going to do? At this point in time it would have been more comical if his past whims hadn't been detrimental to us and the company. But it wasn't. He was dead serious. Are you familiar with the term mutiny, sir? English wasn't his first language, but I think he finally understood what the results would be if he went through with this. I made a calm statement about what happens when you take away the tools techs needed to get their jobs done. I was asked to leave the meeting, and I returned to my cubicle. Within a few days, the Surface Pros started to show up around the office. Everyone was enamored with the new shiny objects they'd been issued, while my techs never for a second considered that those would have been their fate had it not been for my advocacy. Over time, the Surface Pros eventually all died in one way or another: broken screens, overheating, etc. If anyone knows anything about these, they were essentially unreparable. The head of sales told his staff to keep important files on a USB stick in case theirs died, and when they needed a replacement they could just get what they wanted at Best Buy as long as it wasn't another Surface Pro.